All right, we'll see if we are live. I'm waiting for the click, you guys. I'm always waiting for the click to see if we are live. There is the click. It says we are live. I'm going to just double check real quick if you guys do not mind. Yes, we are live. Okay. Okay, yeah. I went to the headsets this time because even though I have my microphone, for some reason it is very, very, very low. My, expensive microphone on this platform. I don't know why, but it is what it is. All right, you guys. I know you guys are saying, "Well, Don, where's Donovan been? Oh my God, he hasn't said nothing in a few days, or he's never doing that." Let me tell you guys something. When you live in the desert, you have to prepare. Now, for you guys that live near the coast, or you're in a southern, you know, tropical type area, you guys have decent weather, even though you guys deal with hurricane season or tornado season, or whatever. But when you live in the desert where water is scarce and the heat is very intense, let me tell you, nothing gets done during the summertime unless you have a death wish, okay? Unless you have a death wish, nothing gets done. So I have to prepare my yard now. Um, my grandfather, he has a little green thumb. Green thumb runs really, really big in my family. And you guys know I have a bunch of fruit trees and landscaping in my backyard that I did. And I have a half a ton of rocks sitting in my driveway. Okay. And let me tell you, uh, I've been moving those rocks. I'm going to be 55 years old. I've been moving those rocks piece by piece, little bit by little bit, not trying to kill myself because I'm not that young Herculean guy I used to be, right? So I've been doing that, taking my time doing that. And what it is, when you have a desert landscape, I see people, they'll put that first bed of rocks in there, and then the bed sits, and then, of course, it'll start to settle. And you get used to it. And if you have animals, like I have Benny, and he'll kick up to where you can see the fabric, the fabric barrier, you know, that separates everything. And he'll kick that up, and of course he's a digger, so he'll dig through that and stuff. So what you got to do after you put that first layer, after a year or two, when it really settles, you got to put another layer on top of it, and that way it makes the rock bed, right? And so that's what I've been doing. And unfortunately, the landscaper, even though I gave them my receipt from last time, their rock thing kind of changed. So it's more browner. It's a more of a browner rock, which is great. But my yard doesn't really have a brown tint. It's more of a white tint, so it could reflect the sun rays and all that stuff. So what I've been doing is I've been going in my attic, making sure that my attic fans are working, my solar attic fans are working, and my thermostat attic fan is working, and just staying on top of everything because come summertime it's going to be too late. Uh, I just checked my AC again, and I got it to 66 degrees. Right, I put my smart thermostat to 66 degrees. I remember a couple months ago I put in a new capacitor, and remember Benny chewed through the cables. Right, the dog should be dead, but God is good. I mean, he didn't chew the wrong one. So as Benny is going and messing up stuff, I'm fixing it and making it Benny proof. So that's a good thing. So if you got a new pet like a dog, and they're puppies, they're gonna do these things, and you know you gotta not let them do it. Either you're gonna get ahead of it and fix it, or you're gonna let him destroy it, then fix it. You know what I mean? So one of the two. So I'm letting him um, show me what he's into, and I'm fixing it as I go and making it better. So having those cables outside of my drip system, now I'm putting the cable underneath, and having the drip thing up there, and it's a little bit better because he can't see the lines. He sees the lines, he wants to chew the lines. But anyway, I put a new capacitor in there a couple months ago on my AC, and I left to walk Benny in the afternoon, which I shouldn't do, but he wanted to get out, get his energy out. Walked him, and I come back. I put the thermostat at 66 degrees. I come back. I walk through the door. Ice cold. Ice cold. Literally, I mean, I was just like, ooh, it was like ice cold. You ever like walk into a refrigerator and you feel that like coldness? It was like that walking into the house. Now remember, I also put in fans in all of the rooms. Even though I'm not going to run all the fans, I want them in all the rooms because you circulate the air that will help as well keep your house cool, right? So the only real rooms I'm going to run the fans are the two living rooms and maybe my bedroom occasionally. So I shouldn't have to run the AC as much. But let me tell you guys, when you work in the desert, you have to. When you live in the desert, and I work in the desert, you have to be water conscious. You have to be energy conscious. I have neighbors that are next door to me. They have their original AC. My house was built in 1980, and I've long upgraded that AC system. But some of my neighbors have the original AC, and they have their stay-at-home wives. And these guys are telling me their electric bill is $600 plus in the summertime. So for like 3 or 4 months, probably 3 months, they're getting a bill of $600 just in their electric bill because the wife is at home. She has to be comfortable, whatever, right? So yeah. So I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that. I want to spend as little money as possible. So anyway, let's get to what I want to talk about. Don't forget, you guys, check me out on the Dimitri K Show later on today, 5 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So in about an hour and a half, I'll be on Dimitri K. But I've been checking my messages, and people have been asking me questions about this, about that, about this. And so I just wanted to kind of go over it real quick. Now, Donald Trump has been in office almost 100 days. And guess what, you guys? The Constitution is still intact. There are no slave patrols. I mean, what happened here, you Democrats? What happened? Didn't you guys say if Donald Trump gets in there, oh, it's going to be the end of black people and all this other stuff, and oh, the DEI? Here's the funny thing about the DEI, guys. Ben Crump, who was championing DEI for the Target stuff, he admitted DEI benefits white women more than anybody else. Ben Crump admitted DEI, black people benefit the least. So why the hell are you out here having us do all this? How many of you guys saw Al Sharpton on The Breakfast Club? He admitted these are games that they're playing. He's admitted this. These are games that have no benefit to black people whatsoever. It's just to get a bag. Go look at his appearance on The Breakfast Club. Now, I also want to talk about Cory Booker. Oh, it's historic. Oh, my God. Here's my question, and I didn't watch all of Cory Booker's filibuster thing, his speech thing, but this goes to tell you several things. That means any senator could get up there and talk about a subject for just about any reason. Notice how the premise of the 25-hour whatever he was talking about was about how he's going to stop Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is such a threat to democracy and all this other stuff, right? Have you guys ever asked yourself, why don't they talk about that when it comes to black reparations? Where are these black senators, even though there ain't a lot of them, that don't talk about that? Let's go to the House. They have a few minutes to talk about what they want to talk about when they bring a bill, or if there's something within a bill that's kind of similar to something. Why aren't these black representatives, public servants, why aren't they talking about the disparities that other groups get, and then now it's time for black reparations and we don't get it? I don't see Ayanna Pressley sitting in the House chamber talking about H.R. 40. She does a news conference about it, but I don't see her asking and championing her colleagues to sign on to the reparations bill that's a study. I don't see it. But I'm looking at Cory Booker and I'm saying, wow, they go so hard for everybody else, but when it comes to black issues, no energy whatsoever. And then you ask yourself, oh, it's historic, it's historic. What do we get out of it? How is it historic? How does that benefit black people? He didn't say one thing in regards to black issues. The most homeless in the United States are black people. And of those black people, it's black women and children. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. These are the stats. So, I looked at that and I was like, huh? But this is what I've been telling you guys. But you guys think, oh, Donovan's gone deranged. Oh, Donovan's a Trumper. No, I'm common sense. They can go hard for everybody else, but when it comes to black issues, silence. Just like Malcolm X said 60-something, 70 years ago. We put them first, the Democratic Party, and they put us last. Every time. Every time. Here's the playbook. Here is the play. This is the playbook. Sorry, black people. Donald Trump, and this is what I got from Cory Booker's speaking tour, marathon, sorry. Basically what he's saying is Donald Trump is such a threat that we have to concentrate all of our energy into getting him out of office and getting Republicans out of office and getting to the House, which means, sorry, black people, we can't do anything right now in regards to your issue because democracy is at stake. If democracy was so damn at stake, why did you run the worst candidate? If democracy is so far at stake, why is it that we are uncovering all of this corruption under democratic principles? But black people, I want you guys to I don't care if you're a patriot. I'm as patriotic as any of you guys out there. But you got to call it out for what it is. And it's bullshit. It's straight bullshit. We put them first, they put us last. So this is the playbook. Sorry, black people, we can't do anything for you right now. Democracy's at stake. We need to elect more Democrats and take back the House or take back the Senate or even get the presidency. But here's my thing, and this is my opinion. I think it would be a disaster. And I don't care if they win it back or not. But I think it would be a disaster for the Democrats to, even if they win the House or the Senate, Donald Trump is still the president, which means he has veto power. So nothing's going to get done there. So do you see what I'm saying, you guys? We've got 4 years of Donald Trump. And if you guys get into the fear mongering, that's on you. Do you? But the fact of the matter is, even if they get the House and the Senate back, you still got Donald Trump. So nothing's going to be moved for the next 4 years. But here's the thing. I think it would be disastrous in 4 years from now, which I don't think is going to happen, if a Democrat is elected president. I want you guys to think about this. It would be disastrous for the Democrats because if that Democrat gets in there and doesn't do anything they said they were going to do, the Democratic Party would be over at that point. Because why? In less than 100 days, look at what Donald Trump did in less than 100 days. So you can't be president moving forward anymore talking about what you can't do. So the Democrats, even if they do win the presidency, you have to show and prove now. You have to show and prove now, or you'll be up out of there forever. It would be the end of the Democratic Party as I know it, and possibly as some of you guys know it. So again, Cory Booker, this is the playbook. This is what they want black people to think about. Oh, democracy so far at stake, we can't do anything else. Right. Banana in the tailpipe once again. Somebody asked me about April 5th yesterday. I saw all those foolish Negroes out there supporting bullshit, basically. Bullshit. Notice there was more white people out there than there was anybody else worried about their damn jobs and this and how they hate Elon Musk. And let me show you how stupid people are. You are an illegal person, undocumented, and you are going to get up in a public forum and admit all of that and act like nothing's going to happen to you. It's just foolishness. April 5th, whatever that stuff was, it was foolishness. Hey, Armando, it was total foolishness. I'm trans. Trans is the future. I don't know if you guys saw that clip on the news thing. You had this trans person up there talking about trans is the future. In this republic, the last I understood it, at least when Armando, when we went to school and stuff, it's majority rule. There are always going to be more heterosexuals in the world than there are homosexuals and trans, whatever you want to call these people. Hey, Shaniqua. I mean, it was total foolishness that you saw. And then I look at that and I'm saying, thank God I'm not a Democrat anymore. I mean, I'm fundamentally a Democrat, but I am not with the foolishness anymore. I am not. I was like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. And then to see black representatives up there. I don't know what Al Green was talking about, that Trump might not finish his second term. Is that a threat? Is that an indirect threat? Because you've been trying to kill the man since he's been running. I mean, I was totally embarrassed. When I see black people out here supporting the foolishness, especially when you're not one. I have gay friends. I have feminazi friends. I have all types of people. And, you know, my thing is, please, what you do in your bedroom is what you do. I don't need to hear it. I don't need to see it. I don't need to see it. I just don't want to hear about it. Just like you don't want to hear, trust me, you don't want to hear about what I do in the bedroom. You don't want to hear about it. I'm serious. You don't want to hear about it. You know, I want the chick to run around the house. I'm on the roof, and then I jump off at a certain, you know, when she's going around like track star, and I jump off on her face or something. You don't want to hear about what I'm into. You don't, right? So I have all of these friends, and it's like, I don't care what you do in your bedroom. Why do I have to know that? Why does everybody have to know that? Just be a good human being and go on with your life. Yeah, 21 years in the Air Force, Armando says, I saw it years back. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons I got out of the military. 24 years served, and I saw what was going on. I saw, because of the way I was raised and what the military had told me for over 20 years, that type of homosexuality and military lifestyle is not compatible. How do you just drop that all of a sudden? So I knew, hey, I better get out of here while I can get out of here with my benefits intact before I get court-martialed out of here because I hurt my troops' feelings and I said the wrong thing and I'm getting written up. I'm going through an article, what is that, is that Article 30? Where they do the investigation on you. You might not get to the Article 15, but, you know, it doesn't look good in your file. You get a UIF, you know. It was crazy. I mean, it's just crazy. So, again, I don't understand it. These people talk about, somebody made a statement. Well, what did they say? They said that socialism is better than oligarchism or something like that. It was something crazy. But see, the people that keep talking about socialism, they don't know what they're talking about. And the reason I say that is because if they knew what socialism is, they wouldn't be saying what they're saying. And I keep telling people, if you haven't read the Communist Manifesto, go read it. Get the Cliff Notes. Go read it. The working class will eventually rise up because they have no other means. You know, the rich are getting richer, you know, all this other stuff that's happening. But you've got people that are entitled. Yes, I mean, I'm not entitled to a job. I can't stay in the military for as long as I want to stay in there. I got to leave. You know, federal workers, nobody is entitled to a job unless you've created it yourself. That's my point. I understand unions and, I understand all that. But we need to question our unions. How strong are our unions if you could be fired just like that and these guys are sitting on their hands? To me, it would be better to be a union representative than it is to be a regular union member, because at least while those people lose their jobs, I'm still getting paid. That's the way I look at it. And I'm not against unions. I'm just saying, don't just look at the Republicans busting up the unions. The Democrats are doing it too. I mean, it's insanity that's happening, and people just feel so damn entitled. It's crazy. It's inevitable. Go to China, go to Vietnam, which I've been to those places. Everybody has a job, regardless of what the job is, because when people don't have a job, they start rising up. You got to keep the people employed, be it in the military, be it working for the government, be it civilian, whatever it is. The people have to work. When they are not working, I don't mind, talks revolution. And that's what's happening there. But man, if you're a Democrat out here and you saw the lunacy that happened yesterday, and at the end of the day, ask yourself, what's protesting going to do? What's it going to change? Is protesting going to make Donald Trump say, wow, I'm so damn unpopular, I'm just going to leave this office? I just don't get it. It's like people talk about, oh, Donald Trump's talking about a third term. He's going to, I can't believe these people are educated. I can't believe people are educated. And I'm not talking about the regular person that just went to high school, and whatever. I'm talking about some of my friends that went to the HBCUs that called me and said, yeah, Donald Trump, Donovan, man, he's talking about a third term. I'm listening to these people and I'm like this. Are you serious? You're serious. Oh, it could happen. He could get in the third term. You do understand the Constitution, right? 12th Amendment. It specifically says what he can do and what he can't. He can only serve 2 terms. Oh, but see, Donovan, you don't know. See, Donovan, that's why you don't know politics. See, that's why I know you full of shit, Donovan. You don't know nothing. He could get in there. J.D. Vance could run for president, and Trump could be his vice president, and then J.D. Vance resigns, and then he could ascend to the presidency. Are you serious? So you mean to tell me a young guy like J.D. Vance, who gets elected president, and don't get me wrong, that has happened in the world. It happened under Putin. Remember that president? And Putin became prime minister, but the president was really a puppet of Putin, and then Putin came back, and now he's like this long-serving dictator. But that's another country. We're talking about the United States. Let's talk about the United States. I looked at this person, by the way, who's a teacher, math teacher, but still. I looked at this person and I said, 12th Amendment. If you have served as the president, you are ineligible to be the vice president. For Donald Trump, who is now in his, late 70s? For Donald Trump to be president, you would have to change the 12th Amendment, which calls for a ratification through the states. You have to get 3/4, whatever it is. I've got 2/3 of the states, whatever the deal, to ratify that. When was the last time the Constitution was drastically changed like that? Wasn't that the 18th Amendment, which is the abolition of the prohibition? It didn't happen overnight. It took a lot of court cases and stuff like it. It took a long time. By the time, even if that was the case, Donald Trump would be in his 90s. I never knew so many people had so much fear in their hearts. Shaniqua says, that's make him go more harder than anything. Yeah, they mad and he laughed at them. Yeah, I mean, it's just, but to see how many Negroes are out here with so much fear in their heart, I'm glad I'm seeing them, because I don't want those people around me when the shit hits the fan. Armando says, I feel a simple a college economics course will open their eyes. It opened up mine. You know what, Armando? My niece, who went to Spelman, is an economics major. That was the first thing, and I took economics in college as well, but not as, pronounced as she did. And I asked her about the tariffs, and she said, "Get the dip. Don't worry about the tariffs. Go and go buy your stocks on the dip." And I was like, "That's right," because I had forgot about that. If the economy starts tanking, those of us who saved our money, this is when you buy the stock. So the Tesla stock, that's $600 that you really couldn't really get, and if it goes to like 300, maybe let's say it's half, you get the stock at while it's low. Buy the dip. Economics major, right? But she said tariffs. She said the tariffs. She goes, yeah. She goes, if you look at it, it doesn't make sense. It's supposed to be tariffs are supposed really. It's supposed to be equal, right? Like right now, I'll give you a good example. China has a no. Is it no? Vietnam has a 90% tariff against American goods in their country. We have like a 25%. I think it's even lower than that. I think it's like a 15% tariff against Vietnam. Now, what's so important about Vietnam is Nike makes a lot of their shoes in Vietnam, right? So anyway, so that's the tie-in, right? So how is that fair? How is that a fair tariff? How is that fair? Now, when Donald Trump threatened to put higher tariffs to make it fair, because we've been, as American people, we've been getting ripped off, Vietnam says, we're going to work with you and maybe even go to zero tariffs for American goods. So from 90, basically keeping American goods out of their country, they're talking about going to zero. Makes sense to me, and I'm smart enough to know the economy doesn't turn around overnight. Oh, the economy's crashing, whatever. The man's been in office for 100 days. So why aren't you blaming Joe Biden for 4 years that opened the borders up and created an artificial economy by pumping billions and trillions of dollars to support these illegal migrants and giving billions of dollars to Ukraine? That created an artificial economy. We have never recovered from the pandemic. We've been in a recession since 2019 at least. But if you didn't, just like Armando said, if you didn't take an economics course, you wouldn't know all this. And it's so sad that so many Americans are so damn ignorant. Shaniqua said, that's true, Armando. They will look at it and still won't get it. Yeah, it's man. For those of us that get it, we get it, right? So the economics of it is what Donald Trump is trying to do. And if you look at it from an economic standpoint, right? Oh, oh my God, the tariffs. Guess what? That'll force you to buy American. If it's higher to buy Sony products here in the United States, what are you going to do? You're going to buy the Walmart brand. What's it called? Great value, whatever the thing is. You're going to do what you got to do. But you're going to be forced to buy American products. Most of our cars are manufactured. We get the parts from Mexico. The prices are going to be higher, yes. But guess what? Maybe Mexico will bring those jobs and factories back here to the United States. Again, NAFTA, if you know anything about history, signed by a Democratic president, shipped all of the manufacturing out of the United States into these other countries. Thus, we are where we're at today. And from what I see, what Donald Trump is trying to do, and I'm not a Trump supporter, I look at the economics of it. He is forcing people, and it's going to be painful. It doesn't happen overnight. He's forcing these companies to bring their jobs here and manufacture here. That's what he's doing, which would create more American jobs. Hopefully. Because we know what's that Visa 7, whatever. You want to bring in those other workers into the country to work these little anyway. But the point is, it's going to force Americans to buy American. Let these other countries, hey, if you don't want to give us a fair trading value, hey, we'll keep your products out just like you keep our products out. Notice how they want to renegotiate. I'm not saying it's right or whatever, but what do you do when you have American people that can't find work? You've got young people, homeless people around this country that can't find meaningful work. What do you do? Democrats had 4 years to figure this out under Joe Biden. Joe Biden's idea was bring in illegals, open the borders, and the whole plan behind that was one party rule. That was the whole plan. One party rule. These people that he lets in will be Democrats and they will vote for the Democratic Party. But unfortunately, that's how out of touch these 20th century born baby boomer, no, Joe Biden would be a silent generation. Silent generation people are. These people come in with an entrepreneurial spirit. They want to open their businesses and they want low taxes. They're going to be Republicans. They're going to be Republicans. Almost 50% of your Hispanic population that is legal in the United States, I think it's 40%, vote Republican. Man, it's just crazy. Armando says, you see all the other countries riding the tariffs. They're looking really nice. We should be at the same level. Comment, Armando, man, it's common sense. I don't understand why people are out there protesting against what's better for them. When I went to Vietnam, it's the 6th fastest growing country in Asia. They were building, I was in Saigon, and right there on the Delta, one of the rivers going through Saigon, there was a building that looked like an Avengers building. And it had this big platform at the top, kind of. It looked like an Avengers building. These people are building. Asia, China, building. The Philippines, oh my God, the Philippines, go to Cebu. Go down to downtown Manila. Oh my God. What have we built here in the United States in the last 60 years? If you had to tell somebody, come to the United States, what have we built here in the last 60 years? I'm talking about like a world wonder. Nothing. The 9/11 Memorial. I think that's, I'll be fair. The 9/11 Memorial was the last thing that we built, and nobody wants to see that. Nobody gives a damn about that. That's not like a tourist attraction. My buddy Bruce says you all going to be broke ass serfs very soon. Yeah. See now for those of you guys that are watching, Bruce was one of the smart ones, and he took his stuff and adiosed, and he's living good in Mexico. Yeah, crappy housing tracks. Yeah, think about it, Bruce. They're building these homes, these $800,000 homes that fall apart within 5 years. There's no real wood in them. That's why you have Home Depot and Lowe's. There was no such thing as, you had an Ace Hardware, a mom and pop hardware store, but houses were made to last. Look on the East Coast where you have those colonial homes that are still standing, right? My ex lives in Hampton, Virginia. I go to Hampton, Virginia, and I look at the homes that were like the original 13 colony homes that are still standing. I'm like, wait a minute, why are these homes still standing? And yet a brand new home built in 1996 is completely falling apart. Nope. I don't know. Maybe I just see things through a different lens. Remember in the movie They Live, John Carpenter's They Live? Remember when the guy would wear the glasses and he could see what the aliens are actually saying, and you could see the alien and for what the... That's what I think it is when the light bulb switched on in my head about the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. It was like, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. All this money's going here. Doge is finding all of this. I can't go to these countries and say, I want your resources. Yeah, I'm here illegally. Uh, Deal with me. They'll deal with me, all right, throw my ass in jail. But here, you come here, oh, we'll give you a house, we'll give you food, we'll give. No, what is this lunacy? What? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So, anyway, long story short, yeah, Bruce says, Armando says, nada. Bruce says, not anymore. The USA is kaput. Yeah, yeah. And this was predicted. But the funny thing is, Bruce, like I said, I keep telling people, and it's funny how many people have heard of the Communist Manifesto, but they've never read it. Karl Marx. They don't really know what real socialism is. They really don't know what it. If you had to compare the two economic systems, the one that is the most deadly is capitalism. Because capitalism is based on the strong eats the weak no matter what. You crush it. You crush your opponent. Doesn't matter. Where socialism is more of a weaker form of it. Everybody shares, kumbaya. And it's amazing at all these people that are talking about trans and everybody being kumbaya and loving each other no matter what they are. They're hardcore capitalists. Huh? How are you a hardcore capitalist and yet, huh? Armando says, I could go to another country and live like a king, but I'm not forgotten what I served for. Brother, let me tell you something. And this is, a lot of people don't know this. Of course, I know you know because you've lived overseas. I was telling people this, and they don't want to do the math. I said, do you realize if you make $60,000 a year, you're in the top 20% of people in the world? They're like, huh? Huh? What? If you make $60,000 a year, you are in the top 20%. It could be 30, but I'm just going to say 20. You're in the top 20% of people in the world. Like you said, I sit here daily. The only reason I am still here, Armando, I tell you, brother, I tell you, is because I own my house. And it's in California. And like I said, I'm not struggling for anything. It's great. I love it. And real wood in it. It's an old house. I love it. It's what it is, right? But I'm telling you, I could go to the Dominican Republic. I could go to Honduras. I can go to Costa Rica, Panama. Man, don't even get me to talk about Thailand and the Philippines. I can go there, but I can speak specifically about the Dominican Republic. I could rent an apartment, 2-bedroom, walking distance to the beach, $625. Furnished. Furnished. What am I doing here? Not to include when you go to countries like the Philippines, Okinawa, Dominican Republic, Mexico, some of the central countries like that, the diet that they are on is way better than what we have here in the United States. So your survivability is going to be better in those countries. The only thing that's keeping me here, honestly, is this dog and my cats, really. But, I like California. It's a good base to get out and stuff, and a lot of my friends are here, Europe and over there, and Hemet, Hemet. Doing all those things. Everybody's in the area, So it's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's crazy what's going on. But I just wanted to hit this real quick. I'm going to be on the Demetra K show in about 40 minutes. About 40 minutes. So I'm going to go I'm going to go get something to drink, get something to eat real quick, and join us on the Demetra K show. I don't know what we're going to be talking about, but you guys, I haven't gone anywhere. I think home ownership sucks. It's great when you're young and you got your family and you're raising your family. You got a lot of energy. But now that I'm going to be 55, I'm telling you, dude, I get on top of the house. I don't want to do this stuff anymore. I don't want to do it because I'm just one fall away from killing myself or whatever. Armando says, right, USA has the potential, literally. Yeah, it does. I mean, you know, we just got to get back to common sense principles. But see, this is what happens, and I'm not. I hope I say this right because I don't want people. You can't have a conversation with people without them getting in their feelings, and I hope I say this right. But when you let a group of people that come from a culture where corruption is normal and you let them mass flood into your country and they have children and what I'm basically saying is it's just like in African countries, you got these a lot of corruption in the African countries. Yeah, we still you only know the half of it, brother. But like in these African countries, they come from a country of corruption. You got Latin countries, a lot of corruption, whatever. They come here where it's acceptable to have your elected servants get their beaks wet. It's no big deal to them. It's like, well, isn't that how politics is supposed to be? No, not in America. You're not going to rob me. And then, you know, I always ask people this all the time. If I purchased a house and I paid for the house, is the house really mine if the government could come in and take it because I didn't pay the property tax? So when am I actually going to own what I own? But see, nobody thinks about these type of things. Why is it that if I have children out of the school system that I'm still paying into the school system? I don't have any children there. And then the school system's failing. It's crazy. We are living in crazy times. I'm not a religious zealot, but man, only God's going to solve these problems, and Jesus is right around the corner. All right, you guys, thanks for tuning in, listening to me rant. Join me at 3 o'clock, Dimitri K Show. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but we're going to talk about something. But again, if you watched what happened yesterday, lunacy, absolute lunacy. Trans is the future. That's what that idiot on the stage said. Trans is the future. Really? Really? I don't know if the person took biology, but if a man and a man and a woman, they can't procreate. So basically, how is it the future if you're really destroying procreating? You can't procreate with them. Two men can't procreate. Two women can't procreate. Crazy. Crazy. I need to get out of this country. Go visit Bruce down in Mexico. Go visit my friends overseas for at least a couple months. Just to recharge and get out of there and deal with the beautiful women. Anyway, stuff like that. Okay, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Great conversation.